Landlords out there thinking about putting in aircon, tenants out there thinking about wanting aircon. What's the value to a landlord? Expert property manager is going to tell us today. Cleo Witt here. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Aircon, 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 aircon. Do you sleep with your aircon on at night?
No, I've got a fan in my bedroom, but the kids have aircon, so we give them the luxury. But
Jeez.
it's a big thing, aircon, especially these days where it's so humid and muggy. I don't know, because I'm getting older, I just maybe getting the flushes, but it's hot, it's muggy. You need
It's
aircon.
hot and muggy, and you know what? I think I've been in a suit all my life, and I've had this thing tight, and I've had these things on all the time. And summer, winter, I've climatized. So people go, mate, no idea how you do that, but I think aircon's one of those dangerous things that once you get used to it, and I'm talking over years and years and years and years, it's just a must-have for some people.
It is, and definitely in the rental property market, it's one of those things, an inclusion that all new properties usually have. Most have either ducted or split system units, and tenants have, like you said, become climatized to that. They're expecting air conditioning when they're at that high price point of most of the rental stock that we have available on the northern beaches.
Cleo, a two-bedroom unit. One bedroom unit. Let's start entry level. What would it cost to put an AC in?
About two, two and a half, something like that. Maybe a bit less, depending on the size and whether you need to have any modifications done. But usually around that point, my dad just recently got a quote for his one bedroom, and that was just a small split unit in the lounge room, and that would go all the way through to the bedroom and hallway. So quite
Two
effective for a
bedroom
small
unit
space.
aircon.
Beg your pardon?
Two bedroom unit aircon. How much?
You're probably going an extra 1,000, maybe. Just depends on the size. Yeah, probably about the three and a half, something like that.
A three-bedroom house aircon.
Oh, inwards and upwards, and if you've got upstairs and downstairs, it's going to cost more. Bedrooms, down and lounge, but most quotes that we receive are more competitive in winter as opposed to summer. So if you are thinking about upgrading your property with aircon, probably wait till winter and you'll get a good deal for the summertime. When it's hot right now and everyone wants it right now, it's like anything, the price goes up a bit. So
Does a property manager care about the brand of aircon they're putting in?
I have not experienced issues with brands in air conditioning systems. I really haven't. If you're maintaining the unit and servicing it frequently as you should, then the brand shouldn't really matter. Most brands that we come across, like the Mitsubishi, Fujitsu, all those different kinds, have a warranty period. They're very simple to operate, and the lifetime expectancy, if you maintain cleaning and everything, could be over 10 years. I've had some units in properties that have been there 15, 20 years, and there's nothing wrong with them like they were, when they first were installed.
Wow.
It's Yeah, so it is one of those things. Even my place, our air cons are from the 70s and 80s, and they, they run perfectly. We just clean them. The units are a bit noisier outside, so they're not as sound efficient. But you know, if they're working and you regularly take the filter out, vacuum the filter, they work fine. They work perfectly. So
Does
that's the
your does a property manager care about the noise levels of an aircon going in? So when you're doing an install for a landlord, are you asking the technician or that, or it's a given that they're quiet these days?
They're quiet these days now. They're 100% quiet. I've never had issues. The only issues we come across with the units on the balcony is sometimes being coastal, they rust. So having a cover over the units on the balcony is
Oh, that's
always
a
a
good
good
idea.
tip. Or
Just for
they've
longevity.
encased, yeah, because they're exposed to the elements as well, and sometimes the piping and everything can, perish out there, especially if you've got a lot of sun on your balcony. So, I've seen landlords do a wooden case structure, which then turns into like a nice shelf for a barbecue or something. So you can be innovative
Yeah,
there.
it looks
They
nice.
do
They,
that a lot.
I believe you can buy them from Bunnings these days as well.
Yeah.
Does the difference? Does a landlord need to put a ducted or a split?
They don't need to do ducted. Ducted are more for big family homes with dual zones. The townhouses in Warrood, for example, that have got 4 bedrooms upstairs, lounge room downstairs, that they tend to be ducted. Ducted is good except for when it needs to be serviced. It can be very costly. Maintenance and repairs on ducted, you're looking at maybe double or triple what you would pay for a split unit. Um,
Ooh.
think of ducted like, a European car, for example. It costs more.
Oh, okay.
I've had a
Guys,
landlord rip it
if you
out
just
and put
tuned
a
in, we're talking
split.
about aircon units with expert property manager Cleo about whether they should go in, should not go in. Um, Cleo, the crunching question that people will always ask. So I think it's an unexpected cost for a landlord, and it's a cost for a lot of landlords that go, you know what, it's been fine for 10 years. It's going to be fine without it for the next 10 years. What do you think of that response?
Well, it may have been 10 years ago, the tenants' expectations weren't as high. You will have more turnover with a property without aircon during the summer period. It's just a given. I have tenants that move specifically because their properties are too warm in summer. It's too hot. And they say we can't live here anymore. I've had a property for this very reason that the landlords had over 8 tenancies, rollover, 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 and it's because of that summer period. It's a west facing apartment. It gets really, really warm. If you can't sleep at night in your rental property, then that's an issue. Sometimes putting a fan in is a small, medium, having a bedroom fan, a ceiling fan, because some properties and some units you can't actually have aircon, like winter garden properties and things like that. But um, it definitely adds value. If I was going to relet a property, I would definitely put an aircon in. You may get a little bit more rent as well, but that longevity of your tenancy is going to improve, especially, the summers that we have, the humidity that we have. And even in winter, having a gas heater or electric heater can cost a lot more. Having that split system and heating option is more beneficial for tenants financially.
Do you ever get a body corporate in if you're installing aircon in a unit, knocking back an aircon after you ask?
Very rarely, but yes, it depends on the diagram your installer has given. Sometimes they're finicky on how it looks, how it's going to look on the common property. So you have to have a good, reputable aircon company that can give Strata the paperwork they require, because then you don't get held up in that paperwork litigation side with the committee going back and forward. Um, I did have a property a while back where the tenant just installed it without permission. She had to remove it, and then it had to be approved through the whole process, in which case she then didn't bother putting it back in. So it's one of those things. If you go through the compliancy route and do it the right way, the right thing in the beginning, then it shouldn't be an issue for you down the track. But most stratas have, aircon as a common daily thing that they do with a committee and a strata plan. So it shouldn't be hard.
Okay, for the granddaddy big pooh bar question, 2 bedroom unit in DY in Pacific Parade, red brick block, no aircon. You install aircon into that unit. What sort of money will you get more for that unit with the AC per week?
I'd say anywhere between $150 and $200 a week.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. We just did one. The tenant negotiated $150 increase, and now she'll have aircon.
That pays for itself off in 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's a
Basically.
tax deduction. And
And
it
it's a
adds value to the unit when they get a valuation.
Yeah. Most tenants have that. Sometimes they do have that buffer, and if you offer them something that is going to add value to their tenancy, they're willing to pay for it.
I can't
So,
believe that number. Why don't you put
well,
it in my property? Oh my God. Leo, hurry up. Put him into, get him in. Wayne Street, get him in.
that was
We,
your idea. Always improving.
oh my God. All right. What a great session. Thank you very, very much today for that. That's all things aircon in the landlord's world. I think you did a bit of a king hit at the end. It's a pretty clear answer.
It is. But it's worth it. And yeah, have a great day. And hopefully the aircon in your office isn't too cold.
Hey, thanks,
Bye.
Ed. Everyone have a great day. Good luck with people in the cyclones. Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Yes, true. Good luck.